Hello and welcome to session 2 of our Changeling the Lost PbtA hack. Last session we had our session 1/0 where we had character creation and building up of our characters, and then we rolled into a few initial scenes and set an inciting incident out on the table. This session is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, which is an online gaming club, gaming community. You can find out about more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. And as we do with all Gauntlet games, we are using safety tools. We have the X card on the table as a basic response mechanism. We also have open door, meaning people, if they need to step away, they can step away. And we've established some lines and veils. These are on the table. This is a living document. It can get changed throughout, but for lines, things we're not showing on screen or not leaning into at all, that's harm to animals and sexual assault, those are off the table. And then things that if they appear, we're going to fade to black pretty quickly. They can be alluded to, but they're not going to be on screen at all. And that is eye injuries, sexual content, suicide, or torture. Those are our 4 things that are on there. So we'll just remember that that is in place. So today, everybody made their characters last time. They've had a week to think about them. So I want to come back and check in with everyone and make sure that they're cool with where they're at. So let me start with you, Patrick. Are you cool with the choices you made? Anything you want to modify with your character?
No, I did look things over this morning with an eye towards that, but I'm pretty happy with where my powers, my moves have me right now.
And don't forget that what lies within your power can store abstract concepts as well as items. So it is very much an alchemical vessel of its own kind there.
Nice.
Then Sherry, let's come to you. Are you happy with your choices?
I think so. They aren't too samey, and they give me some of the tools that I picture she has when I look at the picture. So, yeah.
And Robert, what about you?
I was looking through and I changed a little bit. So I changed my Kith to Troll.
Okay.
And then I switched out one of my moves for Cleaner.
Oh.
Which is, you can chew through and eat anything. So that's when I got some inspiration. I was reading something about this guy from like in the 1800s or something in France who literally could just eat anything, like rocks, small animals, people, raw meat, anything. So I was like, that sounds like a fun thing to riff off of.
I like it. So thank you for going through and making that change. And then Jamie, any changes you want to make?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm super happy with where they are right now and excited to make them go through more tragedy for sure.
Absolutely. So last time we had 2 inciting incidents. One of them being a job Robert was on, kind of our Ferris was on, kind of went a little wrong. That might not lead to anything. There might be no backlash. That might just be hanging in the wings. But we also had the call in for our Winter Court members, and they were asked to arrange a party in a few days for 13 guests. And it was very vaguely described as very clearly a ritual. And the definition of what that exactly meant was not given beyond that. And there was some discussion about that, and we took up with the group in your den, which is kind of a bar that you can only reach if you are specifically thinking of it, but you can reach it from many other bars. That you can enter into, a place of many doors. And we had the group discussing those things. The other, I think, thread that would be in this was Falling Waters. There was a request made of you regarding one of your motley mates, and to try to convince them to come over to the autumn side because they have cookies, that kind of thing.
Easy, simple, no problem.
Absolutely. So this is one of the cases where I want to kind of start with go around. Do we want to do a group scene to talk, or let's do that. Let's come back to the bar. Let's set up some discussion again. Big table, lots of room to be able to fit Ferris, and the bartender, who always changes, comes over and has put out, a good dozen bowls of snacks out on the table, tortilla chips and candied chickpeas and things like that are all out as the food that they serve here. So let's come to you, Falling Waters. When the camera comes in, what do we see of you, and what is your bit in the conversation at this point?
I'm trying to think what an appropriate drink would be.
Yeah, what do you drink?
I don't know. It's something
Is it
like
medicinal?
I was thinking it's something like awful and pungent, like just a glass of straight vermouth or something like that. Yeah, just like awful, but it breaks through the sort of like dullness of his senses.
Okay. So yeah, you have a big glass of vermouth that you're sucking on, and there's your cat.
Yes, she's come to help.
Okay.
He's saying, so the theme, does it need to go all the way down to like invitations and napkins and tablecloths? Are we getting really granular with it? Or is it just sort of a conceptual, like maybe hang a banner and some crepe paper and we're good?
And she sort of stops. She says, it would have to be a proper dinner party, wouldn't it?
I find myself lacking a lot of in-depth knowledge about what makes a dinner party proper versus dinner.
Oh, a proper dinner party, you need things like shame, and things like anger that's repressed. Things like that.
There should definitely be agendas. That's why it's important that they think it has one meeting, but it's actually something else.
Right. Like when people show up thinking it's a family for dinner, but it's actually just an excuse to shout at each other. Yeah, that's right.
This sounds like a very complicated set of requirements for the party. It's strange that you are asked for such mixed emotions.
We weren't asked for anything other than 13 guests.
Oh, so you just feel like making it extra complicated.
Yeah.
Oh.
She sort of leans in and she goes, it's an opportunity to demonstrate our virtuosity.
Very well.
Anyway,
So,
do you have something that you want to add to that?
it just seems if we're being very careful about all aspects of it, there needs to be a very particular place for this as well.
Yes. It has to have a certain amount of staginess, but still be appropriate for a dinner party.
I would suggest mirrors. Lots of mirrors. It makes everything feel bigger and unnecessarily fancy while also letting everyone spy and watch on every aspect of everyone else.
Yes, yes, and everyone can see themselves and not like it.
Good. Yes, mirrors make people very uncomfortable.
Plus, if you break one, it's 7 years bad luck.
I suggest we have a lot of food. There's a lot of people get really weird about food. We could trick them with extra food.
That is a good idea. Food is one of the main sources of superstition. Yes. Genius on both counts. Thank you.
Yes, we need chopsticks that will break at the worst moment or something similar.
Right. You're brilliant. You're all brilliant. I'm writing this down.
We need guests who are complicated with each other. It sounds like they should be related or close or possibly mortal enemies.
Well, that's pretty much any two changelings, isn't it?
Is it?
Except for Motley's.
I guess that means Ashwine should be invited.
Cruel, but true. Problem is, I am trying to write things down, which is just stop.
All
So
right.
do we want to theme it with sufficiently with superstitions so that people think that's what the theme is, to make sure that that's who we choose? Or should we be very much more ambiguous?
If you want there to be multiple layers of theme, you should be strong with one, or else it's all just a nonsense jumble that no one gets an idea of what's going on.
All right. I very much agree with that. All right, so let's see here. I think first is we are going to be handing out 13 invitations. So if we want to do the theme of superstitions, which I think we thought was useful, one of the tricks would have to be that we would number them 1 through 13 out of 13, but it would be very subtle, so they wouldn't notice it until later.
Oh, we could have the invitations be tarot cards and choose the 1 to 13th one, maybe?
Ooh, that's interesting. I don't know much about the tarot, so someone will have to research that.
Oh, yes, and I think at this point, Crescent will remember a tower reader that they feasted on. And Crescent will just say, "Oh, yes, I know. I can write it down for you." Victory herself.
All right, so we've got tarot for the invitations. And do we have any idea of who our guests will be? So, and also we should consider what our role is. Are we the hosts? Will we be at the table? Are we part of the 13?
Oh, I wasn't imagining that I would add a fancy. That seems very not. I mean, perhaps I could serve?
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm good with drinks.
I could provide entertainment.
Ooh. What are you thinking, Crescent?
I was thinking of displaying secret horrors, most unknown.
Oh, I could see that would be a popular after dinner entertainment. Yes, we'll write that down. After
Yes,
dinner
yes.
horrors.
It will be also a contest if they can keep the food down.
Oh, that's scary. She goes, that may be a bit extreme. We'll go over the list of horrors and make sure that they all tie back into the theme.
Ferris, I think you could be the main show with, and then she takes a long finger and points towards your muscles.
I could. What would you have me do?
Do you want to tear someone from limb in front of people?
Oh yeah, I mean I could do that. That sounds fun.
At this point, I may say that might be a little too let's see, explicit. Remember that we want to
Maybe.
stay in sort of the more symbolic range here.
Oh, okay.
It's
Maybe
a
stretch
ritual,
limbs.
not a ritual sacrifice.
Oh, okay. Symbol.
I was
That's
gonna
right.
say you could rip me apart, but if we're not doing the ripping thing.
Hmm. Well, then that puts that back on the table. Okay, rip. Okay, so there's some terrible body horror. All right, so then all we need now is to narrow down what our list of guests is and what the menu will be. We know we need lots of mirrors and we need appropriate lighting.
So how do we identify these guests?
I would say if their name suggests a tie to superstitions, that makes sense. For instance, to me, Hopscotch Takebacks is a callback to all of the game related superstitions in all the world. And of course, Abyssinian Max is a black cat. Is there anything else?
And feel free to make up changeling
Make up
maybe to
names.
fill in the list there.
Oh, how about Broken Cat? I think Broken Cat would be a good one to invite.
What kind of changeling is Broken Cat?
Broken Cat is, I feel like that sound cats make at night. Like, I think they use that to disguise themselves and they sneak into places. I think they also talk to cats to get information. They're a little secretive. I don't think they're strange by changeling standards because we're all a little strange. But, but I think the form they take is they look like kind of like a cat, kind of like an anthropomorphic cat. Like it breaks up sometimes.
They're very upset about the response to the Cats musical film earlier
Yes.
because they do bear a striking resemblance to that, and this has made them enraged.
Yes. They also carry that same weird sensual energy that the Cats movie has.
Yes. Patrick, what's another changeling we haven't established yet that has a name that might have a mythic or superstitious element to it?
Be 11th hour.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Kith would be like a darkling uninvited.
So we're going to invite them.
It'll be very confusing.
Exactly, for everyone involved. All right.
They're one of those darklings that are just kind of at the back corners of parties,
Hmm.
things like that. When you go in the kitchen and there's somebody there and you're like, I don't know, who invited this person? That kind of thing. Okay. I like that. Robert, what changeling with kind of mythic or superstitious element do you want to add?
I'm going to say there's a changeling named Lacerated Breeze, playing off of the superstition of Korean fan death.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Where it's a superstition about sleeping with the fan on because it will supposedly cut the air
Yeah.
and you can't breathe. And so I'm thinking this is some sort of air-related elemental.
Cool, cool.
Very nice.
Did you resist making it the same first letters, an alliteration?
I did, yes.
Good job.
And Sherry, what's a changing with superstitious element that you want to add to the list?
I think penny spent. Because of course, find a penny, pick a penny up, that kind of thing. That sort of lucky penny, but it's penny spent.
And what are they?
Let's see here. I'm going to say that she's actually a beast, but she's sort of like she looks like a calliope animal in some ways. It's very much that kind of gilded and super smooth skin, and a
Like
phantasmal
a carnival
pole.
horse kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. So
And what is she? What beast does she appear to be,
uh,
or have echoes of?
probably a horse. She's like the one that can carry people.
Okay. So that's 4 names established on your list. Already,
With
that's just
2 from the list.
Hmm?
Because hopscotch and Abyssinian.
so that's 6. You've already got 6 of the 13 names.
We're doing
Oh, I
good.
also suggested Ashwine, but that's more out of spite.
Oh yeah, let's put
presence perspective.
ash wine. I'm sure there's plenty of superstitions about wine. It's not a problem.
And you have no problem with that, Victory, given your interactions with Ashwine?
This goes beyond my problems with ash wine.
That seems fair.
It shows that I'm the bigger person. It's important to be the superior one in the situation. Duty first. So we got 7. We only need 5 more. Should we go another round or?
Yeah, I have another one in mind. I'm thinking about the name. But the superstition I'm thinking of is like how a pregnant woman shouldn't look at children because supposedly they're going to steal the child's soul for the baby in their belly. And in response, it's here in the Philippines, and in response, you have to like the pregnant woman, the mother of the child has to go up to the pregnant woman, lick her thumb, and then place it on the third eye of the pregnant lady. That has happened to all my pregnant friends.
Really? Someone does that. Okay.
Yeah, like it happened this year.
Okay.
In the city, so it's weird.
Okay.
So what name
Is it about the evil eye idea or the?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the steel baby idea. Like
Oh,
I'm trying to think. Maybe just like baby eye or maybe coveting. They could just be called coveting because they covet something. Like I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah.
And so what are they? Are they a wizened? Are they a darkling? What kind of changeling are they?
Yeah, I like the idea of a wizened. And so I see them as like this old woman. You don't know if they're pregnant or if they just have a large stomach and it's impolite to ask. So
all right.
Okay.
She like the governess, essentially. That one of that. It's her kith, or something like that.
I like
Or
it.
wet
I like
nurse.
Ooh, that's horrible.
I love it. I love it. So good.
Okay. It's a wizened wet nurse. I'm not even going to think about her durance. Patrick, do you have another one?
Yeah. Something about court, but White Alice, a rabbit girl beast, that can play into all of the like Lucky Rabbit's Foot sort of ideas, and obviously themes herself off of Lewis Carroll.
I like that. Robert, do you have another one?
I'm thinking of an owl beast named Nocturne Parliament, based on a lot of the owl-based superstitions. Specifically, I guess like owls. I heard one once about if an owl shows up in your home, that means somebody in your family will die.
Interesting. A lot of beasts in Los Angeles. That's an interesting thing. We'll have to think about why that is. Sherry, you have one more?
I did, but all of their great ideas like made it flee from my head. So let me re. How about there's another ferret and she's called like let's see here. Like Bride of the Sea. And of course, some of her garments are blue, so it has that whole thing of all of the superstitions that go around the wedding, but particularly wearing blue for the wedding, or wearing something blue. But she's entirely dressed in blue.
I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
And then we need one more. So I guess that would be you, Lowell.
Oh, Well, I think you need to choose somebody from amongst the existing changelings.
It's a hard move then. Is that it? Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's a hard move. Well, how about I let you chew on that, so
Okay.
to speak. So food, place, decorations, and the invitations are sort of the 4 tasks that are at hand, correct?
Mhm.
Do we want to dole those out to individual characters, or do we want to do pair ups on that? How would you like to handle that? Sherry,
I
you
think
and
pair ups are always fun.
okay. Then who is going to arrange the food? Which 2 of you are going to go and get the food arranged?
Well, I certainly did a lot of dinner parties before in my other life. I vaguely remember this, so I think that I can work on that.
And maybe since we have another changeling that knows food, we have Ferris go with you.
Oh, yes. Excellent. And he can also carry anything that needs to be carried. And that
Okay.
is wonderful.
And then Crescent and Falling, what task do the 2 of you wish to work on?
I think
Suppose we need.
place.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Which one?
Place. We need the perfect location for this.
Okay, absolutely. So let's go ahead and start with our fairest and again, Victory and Ferris. What are you going to get for food, and how are you going to obtain that? What is your goal here? What is the thing you want to do? You go to another changeling? You go to human contacts? What do you think?
Hmm. Well, we know that there has to be sort of a reason for people to go. So the food would be one of those things. Unfortunately, that may mean dealing with Semolina Pilchard and probably one of the other wizened. So I assume that I also, yes, have an issue with Semolina Pilchard that I have to handle at some point too. Oh boy. But I think Semolina Pilchard would be the person that we would go to for drinks.
All right. So we've established where the autumn court is. We've established where the winter court is. The spring court is, I mean, their time is coming soon. Robert, where do you think the spring court has their location in Los Angeles?
Can you remind me where we said the other 2 courts were?
So the winter court is in an old kind of abandoned clothes storehouse slash cleaners, and the autumn court is in a casting place, one of those cattle call places for casting, full of depression and despair.
In that case, I think the spring court should probably be in some kind of fancy like nightclub or something.
Absolutely.
Like maybe in the VIP area of a nightclub.
And it's one of those nightclubs that kind of constantly changes its theme, kind of redoes. They had a time where they were doing that whole foam party thing where they sprayed stuff down, and they've tried to keep up. They've gone for a more sort of conventional, DJ on the floor theme, but you can go in and arrive during the day, and you will see the door person, which is Sainted Coils, who's kind of there, and he sees you come in, and you're not from the court, and he kind of stomps over to where you're at, and kind of sizes you up, Ferris, because he's a beast. You're an ogre, and he's like, "What do you want?"
We're here on business.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, what's your business?
Well, we're putting together something, and we're looking to, maybe acquire some food, some drink.
So you want to talk to the boss?
That was the plan.
I'll see if she's free. Take a seat at the bar. Gestures over, and there's both mundane people and some changeling here, kind of doing the cleanup. From the previous day. They've got the little vacuum cleaners going, and there's the mopping up of the sick from the last call things, and all of that. And you'll be seated at the bar, and after a couple minutes, Sainted Coils will come back and say, "The boss will see you."
Thank you.
Very excited to see you, Victory.
I'm glad to hear that. I always look forward to meeting with any of the Spring Court. Delightful.
Victory, when you're taken back, what is the space, what is the area that Semolina Pilchard holds court in?
Well, she holds court in a wine cellar, a surprisingly extensive wine cellar for a nightclub. Yes, and she is surrounded by bottles that go, just
Endless shelves of bottles.
exactly.
Wine and other spirits. It looks like no two bottles match down here. And it's that kind of climate controlled, so it gets a little cooler when you come down in here. And she's standing, and she kind of looks at you. And imagine that sort of when she talks and when she moves, there is that grating of porcelain, that sound of porcelain grating on other porcelain there as she talks. And she will hold out her hand.
I'm very good at this. So you'll see Victory, who is very used to all of the hierarchy of households with lords and things like that, takes her hand, bows her head, brushes her lips against her hand as she curtsies.
And she says, "You are welcome here. It's been a while since I have seen you. What is it that we of the Spring Court can provide to you?"
And she stops and she goes, "We have need of your own amazing talents, Prince."
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "It is important that we have suitable and impressive libations for our guests for an upcoming event. We would like to make those arrangements with you if that is possible."
What kind of event? I cannot simply provide things willy-nilly.
No, we would not ask you to do that. And she goes, she sort of says, "The theme of the event is a contemplation on thresholds." She goes, "As you know, the season is turning.
I know. I'm very excited.
We all are. It's an important time."
Absolutely. There are many, many markers that are going to be called in when the season changed. How is your colleague Abyssinian Max?
All of his cigars seem shorter these days.
As well they should. So, I think I can provide you with the libations that you need. But I will consider this as a task I am doing for you.
Ah, I see. That is a perfectly reasonable framing.
Are you? I will consider you two are the ones doing the asking, and she'll turn to you, Ferris, and she says, "Are you asking me to do you a favor and to help you?"
I think that's a fair way to put it.
And she, as she does it, almost you can almost see her breath in the coolness of this place, and you'll feel that sort of like a little bit of that pledge, that debt kind of settle on your shoulders there. And you can mark, both of you, that you have a debt to Semolina Pilchard.
Awesome.
All you need to do is tell me where to deliver it to, and I will have it delivered.
And we will give her a staging point that we've decided on.
Okay.
So, all right.
And she will let you go. You can tell that normally there'd be negotiation polls and things like that, but she clearly wanted those debts from you.
Okay. Excellent.
Let's come to then Falling Waters and Crescent Dreamwraith. What kind of location do you want to find?
So Victory herself wants a place for a performance. You suggested mirrors. How about an abandoned theater in Hollywood? What do you think, Falling Waters?
Depending on the size, it could be a theater or perhaps an abandoned dance studio. Mirrors and judgment and sweat and failure.
Oh, or a failed strip club. There's so many horrible emotions in those places.
Yes, although perhaps we should bring more cleaner in that case.
Oh, are the emotions dirty?
No, just the customers.
Oh, right. I think I've heard the women talk about men. I think they're dirty, yes.
Yes. So that would come with the mirrors that we need and many upsetting emotions.
So this seems like you actually need to obtain something kind of particular. So I would like one of you to hit the streets.
I think Falling Waters would take the lead of I know people in the Autumn Court who know people. It is a very connected court who know a lot of people. So perhaps I could find a person in the court that we could, yes.
Connect to? Yes. Okay. Yes.
See, it's like you understand the whole Autumn Court already.
Oh, I'm not used to understanding things. That's good. That's good.
Yes, it's very, it's quite, we should call someone. I'll call someone.
Let's have you roll hit the streets.
Situational
move.
See, name who I'm going to.
Give me a name. I think you're going to need to find a wizened realtor.
Oh, the most bankrupt soul of them all.
Well, I think we'll go somewhere between a realtor and a masked vigilante, and go with the Scarlet Bolero.
Let's have you roll. What do you want to roll with? What's your emotion here as you're doing this? What's your mood?
I guess fear for the nervousness. Like, I don't know a ton of people in Autumn very well, and I'm not sure if anybody fits this bill, but I was totally confident when I said it, so now it has to be true somehow.
Absolutely.
So where's our basic moves? Is that where? Yeah, party.
So be under situational moves, and the basic moves has a roll for the party.
You two, be nice. 7, 8.
8. So you will put a call in, and kind of doing some things, and out of the shadows, like Batman. At one point, you're there talking, and this figure will appear, and it stands there, and it says, you were looking for me, weren't you?
We were looking for a place.
And he holds up his clipboard with all kinds of property listings on it. Yes. I have many dead places.
Good. We would like to re-enliven one for a night.
I can do that. What is it precisely that you're looking for?
A place full of that used to have dirty men? Is that what you said?
Yes, and mirrors.
You want a strip club?
Yes, but a particularly complicated one.
A sad one, a really sad one. I know that's almost all of them, but the saddest one.
And the most mirrors you can find.
Meet me, and he holds out a card, at this address.
And I reach over with my extra long arm to take it.
And you'll grab that, and we will cut to the three of you standing in front of this place, and you'll see that there is a massive plastic fruit up top that there, and it's called Peach's Show Bar, and it's a massive peach that kind of looks like a butt, and he'll go, I think this is sad enough for your needs.
Yes, yeah. That peach looks very sad.
Yes. And there'll be this jangling of keys, and he'll look around and open the door and lead you in. And the smell, this clearly has been sitting here for a good year, stewing in the Los Angeles heat. Clearly they haven't bothered to pay to have the AC on or anything. So when you come in, it's something has brewed in here, a deep and pungent, musky smell as you come in. And it is your classic bar, runway, mirrors everywhere. That kind of, the mirrors are old enough that you can see that black pitting on the silver behind that you sometimes get. He, holds his clipboard up like this as he starts telling you it is 638 square feet in this room, and it's very lovely. We can have the electricals rehooked up for you if you wish, and get that settled for you.
Can you possibly have them hooked up in a way that is a bit fritzy and unnerving?
I think that's the only way that we can have them hooked up.
Perfect. Perfect.
This is not a short task. I'll have to call on some of my hob contractors to assist with this. So, what are you offering?
He's looking desperately over at Crescent.
Oh, yes. I can offer something to you. I could offer you forgetting. I could take away the worst memory, make it a
Kind of
better one.
pulls back as changelings do when you suggest stealing their memories, and no. I don't think that's a good thing.
Well, what do you need? Maybe there's something you need. A new cape that's not red.
This is my cape. It is who I am. I am the Reddish Knight.
Do you just want to be the red knight instead of reddish?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I've had this for a while.
Yeah, I could clean it for you. Like Crescent's just slowly making things worse, just so it's clear.
Let's have you roll this sort of a conflict to kind of press on.
Actually, would it be okay if I used skim the surface?
Yeah, kind of reach out and run your hands on them. Okay, let's have you do that.
Yeah, so I'm feeling I'm feeling really sad for them. In that sad little cape that's not washed. So I'm going to roll with sorrow. I think Crescent suspects, whether fairly or not, that this person has no friends.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Oh gosh, I rolled snake eyes. So it's a 4 total.
So what is that? What does the Scarlet Bolero feel when you touch them?
Ooh, yeah, I think it's like one of those moments, like, you know, those really fast cuts in a TV show when it sounds like they're screaming, but it's distorted. And they start seeing the corridor of the hotel room. And like, yeah, and it feels like there's just this horrible sense of dread and desperation that's emanating from Crescent.
And what did you roll with? What element? What emotion did you roll with?
Sorrow.
Then you will mark sorrow, and you do that by doing the drop down on the number or on the thing. Yeah, no, mark it out. And Bolero pulls back away and looks angry, and we'll say, "What is this? What is this? Some sort of trap? Some sort of ambush?"
No, we're unsure what the proper payment in this situation is. We've never bought a strip club for a night. I've never bought a strip club for a night, Crescent. No, don't answer. That's gone badly. Surely there's something from the market that you need. I know people.
You go down into the market?
Yes.
Interesting. I will need a bucket of hedge fruit.
When you say a bucket?
I mean a bucket.
How about like I mean, are we talking like a pail or a bucket? Bucket.
A pail. I'm not a monster.
What?
I'm not a monster.
No, of course not. No, that wasn't the yes of I mean no. Fruit, a bucket.
You can do this?
Fruit bucket, yes. Easy. The bucket vendors, they're very friendly.
Bucket of hedge fruit. You promise?
Flavor preference.
Whatever you can get. But you promise?
Indeed.
Then the pact it is made. And kind of tightens his grip on his clipboard and says, I will have things arranged tonight. And pulls out the key and very deliberately hands it to Falling Waters and not to you, Crescent.
At this point, poor Crescent is like folded up, like all those limbs folded together. And I think in the mirrors, you can see Crescent's reflection, what they look like when they were a little child.
Oof. The bolero will vanish into the night if you want to have a conversation here before we cut scene. Oh, and Crescent, also, the good news is you get to mark XP because you rolled a miss.
Oh, that's good. So I mark, is it clarity? Is that right? Or is that something else?
That's something else. So you'll just mark
Okay,
XP
okay.
there on that.
Okay, got it.
Falling Waters, what do you say to your compatriot?
I think he looks.
Have you seen this child image before, you think, of Crescent?
Does it pop up often in mirrors, or is it just like an extremity sort of thing?
I think it's like only if Crescent is feeling extreme emotions, like it'll show up in the mirrors. But I do think like, because like I picked mirror skin, so I have a feeling like Falling Waters has like more of a wow, that cat is so cute. Anyway, has this connection with Crescent because of it.
Nice. Then yeah, I think I've seen the child image a couple of times before. But he looks very like confused and agitated for a minute, sort of hands half darting to do things and then stopping. When he gets a look on his face, he says, would you like to see something?
Oh, you're not going to ask me to go away? I did a bad thing.
What? Oh, no, you scared him. That's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. It's something that we favor in the Autumn Court. Something that we know how to deal with. But here, let me show you. And he'll dash over to where like the bar was and find in some like cobwebby corner an empty bottle of something like a gin or something that he pulls down. And he sort of like very like keeping Crescent's eye, walks up to the middle of the stage with like the pole that's right out in the middle of the audience. And he unscrews the bottle and takes like deep breath in and then blows it into the bottle, trying to do what lies within, as like before the perfect sadness and decrepitude of this place gets ruined by Hobbs tromping through it and freshening it up.
Okay.
I want to see if I can distill something.
What do you want to roll with?
It's not calm because I'm agitated, but maybe like power. I'm trying to like make the magics and the energies useful and do something different. Nervousness, you guys. Oh wow, that's a 13.
So I think you have a big bottle of regret for life choices. I think that on stage we can kind of see that we can see the vapors of that. we see all of those echoes and thoughts, and this bottle like becomes heavy in your hand, leaden with that. And what does it smell like?
Baby oil.
Okay, thank you. And you can put the cap on that.
And yeah, so I shake it, and the sort of like glowing vapors in it, they start to like condense on the side. And you see it slowly, like very slowly filling up with liquid as it condenses inside. And I'll hand it to Crescent and say, see? Look, it's the room, it's the feel. It's a wine. It's maybe not the best tasting one, but certainly more powerful than most.
Oh, this is amazing, Falling Waters. I've never seen anything like it, not in all my time with the Winter Court.
It's something that you helped make possible. This room is ours in a way that it was not before. So therefore, it was willing to give up some of its deepest held secrets.
Oh, something we did together. Yes, Victory herself is the only one I've been able to work with. No one else really likes me in the Winter Court.
That is terrible. But I like you.
Oh, that's 2 people. Wow. Do more than 2 people like you?
He's very taken aback at that. I would like to think so, but I'm unsure sometimes. Other people's connection is hard for me. Emotions are different than they were before.
And I think we will see the two of you kind of going out of this conversation, and you open that door out into the bright, LA sunlight. But Crescent, I think there is a moment when the door opens, and just for a second, doesn't open outside, but you see it open into a hotel room. Just for a second, and then that's gone. Let's come back to Ferris and Victory. You've gotten the drink that has been provided. Where do you go? Who do you know, mundane or changeling, that can cater?
I think there's a point where, as we're walking out of the spring court thing, that she turns to it and she goes, Chris, you understand that I think that what Zetcher Merchant has done is made sure that he's dissipated all the promises that are required for the turning here to our motley. And she goes, I do apologize and understand that when your prince asks something of you, I will be there.
Of course, I think it'll be fine.
It will be fine. The 4 of us are particularly strong. They aren't ready for us. She's trying to convince herself. So, the thing is, LA is fabulous for food if you know the right people. You want to get as close back to the source as possible. And she goes, so we're actually going to go to the farmer's market. She goes, it's in its own way like the goblin market, but with humans. There's a lot of shystering going on, though. But come on, let's go take a look.
Yeah, and it's LA. You have to kind of go a little more upscale places to get the bigger farmers market, but there are some that are held in other neighborhoods, and you'll get there. And what are you looking for? How are you planning on doing this?
So essentially the thing is that she's not looking for the farmer or the vegetables. She's looking for the people who are doing the shopping. And essentially she's looking for someone whose talent hasn't been recognized.
That sounds like study to me.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. I think she has a certain sympathy for unrecognized talent. So I think that she will roll with. Should I go ahead? I will put my sorrow out on the line because it is a sympathy with her own sorrow.
That seems fair.
Now, hold on a second because I am unprepared and I have to get to the roll for your party. Okay, almost there. Here we go. Victory herself, who has previously rolled boxcars, will attempt to.
We've seen a snake eyes, so
Yeah, so
all the
I
extremes.
rolled a 7, so I add 2, and that gives me 9.
Okay, so you get 1 hold from the study, which allows you to ask a question about a situation, ask a question about a person, or reveal a detail.
I want to. It's not really for crowds, though, right? So.
Oh, you have something here?
Yeah. So.
You'd have to find somebody, and then you could apply that move that
Yeah.
you're
So
thinking about.
I'll say. Well, ask a question about a situation or place. Like I could ask for the biggest threat, but instead of the biggest threat, it's the most unrecognized talent.
Okay.
Is essentially here. So.
So you will see this woman who is haggling like a demon with the different vendors. They are clearly slightly exasperated with her, but she is carefully getting together a set of good quality vegetables and things like that, and you can tell that that she is someone who is overlooked. You'll hear a couple of vendors talking about how she keeps doing this. She thinks she's big, but she's just a food blogger. She doesn't know how to, she doesn't have a restaurant or a truck or anything like that. And they kind of laugh at her behind her back.
Excellent.
Because she's terrible on camera.
Oh, really? All right. And I will approach her, and I am fabulous. And essentially, I'll go. So it's Violet, right? You're Violet.
Yes. I mean, do you watch my channel?
Oh yeah. Yes, Violet knows food. Sure. And she sort of stops.
Close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's that. I just remember your vegetable series, like all the things to do with, she points to those purple carrots, right?
The heirloom carrots, yes, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. And she's, did you know? And she begins to like do one of those like, and carrots are not always orange, and here's what that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pedantic, and her voice is a little annoying, but she knows her stuff. But it's kind of hard to listen to her.
Okay, and I go, you know so many things. I'm wondering, actually putting together a dinner party for some friends. And she goes, I have a decent budget. Would you be willing to, I won't even say cater, I would say prepare those foods? We would come and pick them up, but it would be actually making some very perfect meal place settings. It's a very structured thing. I could give you the specifications.
Absolutely, and she'll stop and kind of start talking with you about this, and you two of you can kind of get this worked out. Ferris, what are you up to during this? You're in a market with all kinds of food.
Yeah, I think I am like
Wait, let me ask you this here. You can eat anything. Are you
Right.
always hungry? Are you never hungry? What
I
what
think
is
I'm
it?
always hungry.
Okay.
Yeah, I think especially as Victory, kind of gestures toward these the purple, the heirloom carrots. I'm probably like just instinctively reaching out for one of them, and maybe I do just grab one and just all in one bite, just eat it
Oh,
without even thinking about it.
okay. She'll kind of stop. She's a little taken aback because you had the whole like stem end on it went down.
The greens.
You're vegan?
I do eat vegetables sometimes.
He has a very discerning palate.
Oh,
And
good.
It just
Good.
sort of stops and says, "How was that carrot?"
It was good. It did not fill my entire stomach, but it was good.
She'll pat you and go, "He's always a little hungry." She goes, and she goes, "Ferris, could you do me a favor?"
Yeah, of course.
And she kind of goes, she looks up and she considers, "We need to find something that needs to be served with a lot of salt." And she goes, "There's a lot of homemade treats that are made here. If you could look around, try the samples, find something that's not sufficiently salted."
Got it. Yeah, I can I can try the samples, definitely.
Yes. All right.
So you're going to kind of hunt around.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for some sample of. Well, I'm definitely gonna be trying all of the samples.
Okay. Yeah, they've got little sample trays out there. You'll come by. Oh yeah, this is like going to Costco on a weekend. It's full of little sample things, and you will do that. As you are doing that, you will see another changeling. You will see changeling mentioned earlier. You will see Ashwine, and you see Ashwine is walking and is weirdly like carrying like uh, uh, like a shopping one of those cloth shopping bags, and she's with this young woman, and who's clearly not a changeling, and they are shopping here at the market.
Mm, I would acknowledge her. Like try to I don't know, like try to catch her eye.
All right. I think it is very easy for you to catch someone's eye, given who you are. I think you kind of loom out of the crowd, such that you see she sees you, and her reaction is slightly panicked, and she does nod affirmatively towards you as if to say hello, and then you'll see her turn and kind of scoot this young woman away from you as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think as soon as she turns, I would just like almost like shouting out to her, like, "Oh, have you tried these samples?"
She will. Let's see how we want to do this here. What's a good way? Are you trying to get her to stop, and are you just trying to annoy her?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to annoy her.
Okay. Then I think I will have you roll conflict here because it could be social and emotional. So what would you roll with to be ogre annoying?
I'm gonna say joy.
Okay.
That's a 5.
That is a 5. So she kind of tells the person that she's with to move on, and she comes through the crowd and she comes up to where you're at, and she puts one hand on your chest and she says, "You need to shut up and step off."
I I was just being friendly.
You should turn around and go.
You're not going to introduce me to your friend?
And that is the point at which that hand heats up. And you are going to have to mark harm. You can mark that as one of your states, or you can mark that as wounded or drained.
Yeah, I'll mark that as drained.
Okay. Yeah, she does that where you feel her hand burn into your skin. And you've never had to really face her down. You've never really had to be in a thing, but she's not scared of you.
Yeah, I think I would, at that, just turn around and, just back off. Maybe go back to grabbing some of the samples.
Okay. So Victory, when Ferris returns back, you'll notice he has a handprint, a burnt handprint on his chest, and there's the smell of singed troll in the air.
She goes, should I ask? And she does sort of, kind of take a little thread that's by there and smooth that out.
Oh, it's nothing. Ashwine sends her regards.
And she goes, why do you let that woman keep pushing you around?
Well, I don't want to cause any trouble. I just, she was here with a friend, and I like to be friends with everybody, so I was hoping that her friend could become my friend, and we could all be friends.
Tell you, some changes don't really believe in friends. And they don't believe other people want to be friends. You're a good soul. They just don't believe it. Did you find anything delicious but bland?
I mean, there was, well, the blandest thing, there was this tray, and it was made out of porcelain, and it slipped into my mouth also, and that was really bland. But the jerky that was on it, the jerky it definitely could have used some salt.
Really? Now that's something you don't expect. Okay. She kind of goes, a fine appetizer. Show me where it was. We'll go and buy some.
And yeah, you'll have to kind of maybe pull something over to cover the fact that there is literally a handprint in your mortal form burnt into that clothing there. But we'll see the two of you going to the market. Let's take our break here. Let's take 5, and we will come back. So I think it makes sense. Let me check in with Crescent and Falling. Um, do we want to do something more with your pairing, or should we move to bring the group back together for a reconvening? What do you two think? Because if
Do
you
we
have
need
another
to get
scene,
that bucket, or
oh
should that
yeah,
be for later?
Yeah, but I was gonna say it sort of depends on if Victory or Ferris want to go to the Goblin Market as well. If so, we could turn that into a whole thing.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
I want to know what the LA Goblin Market is like.
Lots of cosmetics.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like those places where they sell fake makeup. Is that?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that on YouTube.
So you want to call them up and see about going to the Goblin Market? Ferris, Victory, are you down for that?
Yeah.
They need me.
Okay. Um, let me ask you, Jamie, to get in. Obviously, you need to kind of go into the hedge, but walk in. But then the market is probably pretty close to the surface. What is the entryway like in the real world? What is the place that you have to go to make your way into the market?
Ooh. I'm thinking in LA. I like the idea that it's this abandoned parking lot, which is really bizarre considering how important parking lots are in these cities. So
Right.
it's kind of weird. So
Like
we have to
one
get
that
past.
hasn't been fixed and it's weirdly grown up into. Okay.
Like
Yeah,
it's been
yeah.
cut off from the streets.
Yeah, yeah. So like you can see the parking lot, but you can't see where the cars are supposed to actually like go up to it. And there's a sign and everything like for inquiries, but if you call the number, nothing happens. Like it's an incomplete number even, I'd say. Like everyone notices there's one digit missing.
I like that very much. So it's got a fence all the way around it too, to kind of block things out. And Patrick, what is the gesture or place or thing that you have to do to actually get into the market once you get there?
I think there's the like attendance booth for the parking lot, like right there next to the like gate that comes down.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to have at least one person in there who collects and inserts the payments for everyone. Like it's I think it's any sort of coin, like it'll take any sort of coin, but you have to have someone in there like operating it and letting people through one at a time.
Absolutely. So you all will do that, and you'll come in, and there is that transition into the hedge, and the hedge in Los Angeles is, when you get close to the surface, it isn't the green deep vines that you get when you go further down. At the surface, it's this weird mix of plastic vines and dried out vines and dried leaves. So it's got this mix of sort of fluorescent-y plastic green and brown and sepia tones as you go through it. But you will come down and you'll walk down into the Goblin Market, and it's like one of those outdoor malls where there are the mall is kind of around you and you kind of walk a path through them and the stores are on either side, but it kind of goes in a spiral, and none of the stores are actually open. They're like papered over with newspaper or gum, or shellac in some cases. but all of the stalls are those little middle of the court stands that sell garbage when you go there. Some of them sell food. Some of them sell, as you said, fake makeup. Some of them sell like permanent makeup, where they like will stitch threads in for your permanent eyebrow things, which is a real thing. And all of those, a lot of them look like old phone stalls, or the ones where they sell like remote controlled helicopters and things. But they've all been repurposed into these goblin market things, and there are all of these sellers standing around, and they're all busking and yelling and hey, get that, hey, Johnny, hey, Malish, come on over here. Yes, please. Yeah. And they're looking around and searching. So let's start with you, Falling Waters, because there is a move for this. And you are trying to find something at the Goblin Market.
Yeah, just your basic bucket full of goblin fruit.
Let's have you roll.
All right.
What do you want to roll with?
I think this is power as well. This is reaching into like knowledge of esoterica and weird things in the hedge, and he still doesn't feel very comfortable because it involves talking to people.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
So you guys. All right. So 8 + 1 is 9.
That is a 9. So what is the stall that you finally end up at that looks like they might have hedge fruit? Because those are pretty valuable things.
So sort of like it draws down major heat. So if there is such a thing like a underground or unsanctioned sort of hedge fruit stall, or they're getting fruits that are particularly protected somewhere or something like that.
Yeah, do you go and talk and you kind of ask about the hedge fruit and the hob? Huge head, just massive, like the cover of the lemon head candies. That just sort of almost has a hard time. It kind of rests on their shoulders in places, and a big mouth, tiny little teeth, but hundreds of them, and it says,
Oh yes, I am sorry. I am here looking to buy wax fruit for display purposes only.
"You're Autumn, aren't you?"
Yes. Does that matter?
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Look. These hedge fruits, they fell off the back of a hedge truck, that kind of thing.
Yes, as is often the case. Who would want them anyways? They are just lying in a gutter somewhere.
Absolutely. And he will pull up this box, and it is filled with grapes, and they are weird, and they almost look like marbles. They're all that different kinds of, like the small ones and the shooters and stuff. They're all that perfectly symmetrical, and they are gorgeous.
That is, they are nice and very close, but unfortunately I require them in a bucket rather than hedge fruit that comes in a box.
I can do that. Hang on. And he scrambles around underneath, and he comes back with a bucket, and you see he'll take the grapes and he'll put them into a bucket.
Waters looks
Boom!
dubious for a moment, but he will like get down and get like eye level with the top of the bucket and sort of rearrange some of the grapes, level them out, like take 2 out because they're overflowing and he needs the bucket to be full, but he didn't say anything about overfull, and
Yeah.
that might be wrong.
When you
So it's
actually
just
touch
very
the grapes,
exacting.
they're weirdly sharp. Like you have to be, even though they're rounded, you kind of put them off to the side. They kind of like you feel if you press too hard,
Ow.
they would. Gotta be careful with these. They get a very sharp taste.
Oh, because when you bite them, it would lacerate your tongue?
Yeah, there's that.
These seem acceptable.
Absolutely. And he pulls the bucket back and puts it by him. Now, if you want these grapes, this bucket full of fruit, number one, you have to swear you won't say where they came from.
They came from this bucket, presumably.
I need, as I'm telling you, what the conditions are of this. It'll be a pledge.
Yes, all right.
You, me, gentleman's agreement, bonding, all that. Number two, I need you to do something for me.
Yes, not tell anyone where the fruit or the bucket
That was
came
number
from.
one. That was number one. We're on to number two now.
I thought we were just reinforcing the sort of like very important number one. It's sort of like underlining, but with another step.
Okay. Number two, which is not the same as number one, but is an entirely different thing. I'll add in a number three to reinforce number one. So we'll go to 3 things now. Amongst the 3 things that I'm asking you to do.
Yes.
And he pulls out a little box and he opens it up, and you can see there is a little golden cockroach in this box. I need you to take this, and I need you to gently and carefully place this somewhere on the person of Hopscotch Takebacks.
What does it do?
It's a thing.
Presumably.
It's a bug.
Will it hurt him?
No, not directly.
That was a strangely qualified answer.
I'm a goblin. Everything's qualified.
This is true.
Look, I got 3 rules for this thing. The third one is just a repeat of the first one. So there doesn't seem like too many things to ask you, because one of them is just like 1.5 kind of thing.
No, this is true. This is a reasonable number of things to ask. I'm simply trying to ascertain the nature of it, as Hopscotch Takebacks is of my court in the city, and I am trying to determine the repercussions for taking such action.
Well, I know the repercussions for not taking that action.
Oh, the bucket.
You don't get the bucket. There
Yes,
we go.
oh,
Yes, you see, that was a whole logical step thing. A went to B, went to C.
How
I got other
much
buyers
trouble?
that want hedge fruit.
Very well. As it happens, I will be seeing Hopscotch soon.
Then we have a deal.
Yes.
Holds out his hand.
Waters
He
will sort
produced
of
an
turn
amazing amount of spit into his hand for just one.
And he'll reach down, and Waters will grab his own hand and sort of twist it at a 90-degree angle with this breaking glass sound. as he pulls it off and reaches out with Quicksilver inside to shake his hand.
Ooh, that's chilly.
Yours is unpleasantly warm.
I get that a lot. Here's your bug. Here's your bucket.
Thank you. I appreciate doing business with you.
And you pick it up and you step away and you kind of turn back to say something else to him, and he's gone. So Crescent, you're down here in the Goblin Market. Are you looking for anything particular? Or are you just looking to find something that catches your eye?
Yeah, I'm looking for decorations that Victory herself would like for the party.
All right. So let's have you roll for the Goblin Market. What is your mood here as you're hunting about?
I think, how am I feeling? I think poor Crescent hardly goes to the Goblin Market, and they're feeling pretty happy about it, and they're with everybody else. I'm gonna roll for joy.
Okay.
Oh, that's a much better roll. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10.
Yeah.
So what is it you find, and what makes it kind of wonky? What makes it kind of weird?
Ooh.
Because there's always something problematic about what you get here, but you can find it.
Yeah. I think what I find are tarot cards that can every time you pull from the deck, it's like as if it's a different deck each time. So none of the cards match. And if you put it back in the deck, if you pull the same Hermit card, for example, it'll be from a different deck again, over and over again. And even though there's only supposed to be 7 to 8 cards, I can pull far more than that from the box, so I can use it for the decorations.
Oh, absolutely. It kind of keeps going. I think that the more of them you have out, the more you kind of hearing like the little murmuring whispers as they're talking to each other.
Ooh, yeah. I think Crescent would like their blank face near the box. Oh, there's secrets. Oh, Victory herself will like this so much. Yes. I'll bring them to her right after.
And yeah, and the hob is you make an exchange, probably you have bottle caps or things that are significant. What is the thing that has a little bit of meaning that you give to the hob to get this?
Ooh, what I give him is there was a time when my mortal and I when Niani and I were at a coffee shop, and I saved the change from the payment, and I never parted it with it. But those were my most valuable coins, and that's what he took.
Yeah, they'll take it. They give it a lick. Oh, very, very memorable. Yes, thank you. There you go. There are the cards.
Yes. Thank you. You are very small.
I am tiny.
Yes. Does the world look different from down there?
It does. It does. It looks much more dangerous.
Yeah, lots of crotches, I guess. Yeah.
But that's a bonus.
Oh, that's true. I did come from a strip club.
Good straight punches when you have to deal with somebody down here.
Right. Violence. That makes sense. I'm most happy for you and your crotch violence.
Absolutely. Ferris, what about you? Are you looking for something particular, or just trying to find something that catches your eye?
Yeah, I think just trying to find something that catches my eye. Of course, I'm hungry, so I'm looking for something to satiate me.
Absolutely. I think that you're walking along and you see set off to the side of one of these things, these stands, is you see these big cans, like big flat cans of tuna, but like you don't recognize any of the labels. Like you're like, I don't know what those are. I haven't seen that label before. And you kind of swing back, and the merchant's like, "Her, her," pulls out a tooth, sets it down. So, what are you looking for? What are you looking for, big troll?
I'm hungry.
Ah, you're hungry. Hungry. We can do something with that. So, yeah, I got some of these. I got some tuna here.
Well, what kind of? I mean, is it just regular tuna?
No, 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 no. Yes, yes, just regular tuna.
Just, but does the tuna have a story? What's the story of this tuna? Why is this tuna here?
Sometimes a tuna is just a tuna, just delicious. Kind of holds it, kind of turns it, and you're looking at. You can't even recognize the alphabet that's on these labels.
I mean, I guess I would like the tuna. Can I have the tuna?
What do you got to trade? And I'll give you some of this delicious Arcadian tuna.
I mean, I have, well, I have some leftover, some very good bones.
Are they special bones?
They are special bones. I pulled them from a prized chicken. You know, I ate the chicken, but I did not eat the bones. So they hold special meaning because I showed restraint.
So bones of trollish restraint. Interesting. Interesting. I can work with that. Show me the bones.
Yeah, and I think I pull out just like basically the bones of a chicken out of my pocket, just entirely, just a handful of bones.
Oh, I appreciate you cleaning them too. Nice, nice, nice.
Well, I don't like to leave any meat left over.
Absolutely. I'll give you 3 cans of this delicious Arcadian tuna.
That sounds like a deal. I should show restraint more often.
I don't know about that. I never believe in restraint, but it kind of pulls the chicken bones, drops them in a little satchel he has there, and he says, pick the cans you want.
All right, I guess I'll take this one, and I like the letters on these. They're pretty. I mean, they're different. I've never seen this style before.
It's a font, you know.
Yeah, graphic design. I've never been a fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I take.
At least it's not Comic Sans.
Yeah, at least it's not. I guess that's true. And yeah, I pick up 3 cans of tuna, and
Okay.
I think I open one up right there,
Okay.
and I'm gonna eat it.
Oh yeah, it's thick and rich. You know, it's packed in oil there, and you're gonna scoop it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoop it down and then probably even just like start gnawing on the can after it's empty.
So let me ask you this. What is the last memory of this tuna beast changeling?
Oh goodness. There's like it's not necessarily darkness. It's a struggle in a net of some sort. It's slightly dark, but the last memory is just a lot of struggle.
Yeah, it tastes like your Durance a little bit when you eat it. You still eat it,
Of course.
but you will get the chills a little bit here. Why don't you mark a couple of clarity? Let us come to you, Victory. What are you looking for?
I am actually looking for materials for Fallen Waters. Essentially, I want to find something that would, where he could make the most attractive envelopes for the invitations, because once it's opened, so that they couldn't resist. So I'm essentially looking for those materials that he could turn into those envelopes.
So I think that you will hunt around and eventually you will find a vendor that has paper products of various kinds, old newspaper clippings of accidents, love letters that were torn up, and unpublished novels that got rejected more than 100 times. That's all the kind of things there. And you will ask, and the hob behind the thing, kind of a spidery hob a little bit, will say, I have just what you're looking for.
Excellent.
Why don't you make a goblin market roll, though?
Okay, let's see here. Probably going to roll this with calm. Oh, come on, dice. That gives me a 9.
That gives you a 9. So we'll pull out a set of envelopes and invitations. And they're all different, but they're all quite beautiful. And says, so these are all the invitations that children wrote to themselves when they weren't invited to birthday parties to make up for that. I've scraped them clean, but they're still delightful.
Yeah, and I think that Victory's like lower lip actually quivers a little, and she's like, yeah, I think that seems like just the thing.
So you're having a party.
Yes.
I'll give you these invitations.
And in payment?
You have to invite me.
What's your name?
Mother Knot. That's with a K.
All right.
And she seems surprised. Really?
Really?
And I when you write the invitations, I want an invitation.
All right.
Okay. Pushes these over to you, and yeah, they are dripping with sadness.
Sadness and injustice.
Yes, there's a little bit of rage there as well. Just a hint. like an aperitif of rage at the back.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, you can gather these together. You've gone around. Ferris, I do have one question for you before we head out. There are goblin hobs here with sample trays. Do you eat from the sample trays that the hobs have?
Yes, of course.
Okay, absolutely. So there is a potent mix of different flavors bubbling in your stomach by the time you get up and out of here. You have quite a bit of the pieces. Let's do the group convo at this point, because I think Falling Waters and Crescent probably have some explanations about the place that they have gotten.
It is perfect. It has many mirrors in it.
Wait. What is it again?
It is an abandoned business, but it was formerly a strip club of much sadness and confusion.
Lots of sadness and regret of horrible life choices. It's fantastic.
Crescent has a bottle if you would like to smell.
Yes, it smells like oil of baby.
I think there's that thing where Victory was like going to take a sip of water, and she sort of like does this, and it's not like she spits it out, but there's a little drip that falls to either hand. She goes, oil of baby. Well, I think I know what that smells like. So no, that's okay. Keep the cork on. Yeah. Wouldn't want to waste that.
Yes. Oh, that's so true. You are so wise.
And she goes, I'm glad that you found a place. This is becoming more and more interesting as time goes on. I must thank Zetra for this learning.
It's certainly a place where looking at yourself in the mirror offers an unexpected perspective on life.
Indeed. One that I don't want to, should we say, to think on too hard at this moment. So there's been a change to the guest list.
You had 2 open spaces.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
you had the 8 ones you came up with, plus the 3 Ashwine, Abyssinian, and Hopscotch, right?
Okay, yeah.
So 2 spaces.
All right. So, and he just did say 13 guests, not 13 changelings.
13 guests.
Yeah, 13 guests. All right. A noxious goblin in the midst seems awesome. Then I think that it's almost like that we need to have one mortal.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then probably one of us.
I know a mortal that Ashwine would like to have there.
Really?
Yes. It's a secret, so I'll only tell you if that's okay.
Oh, no. You only need to tell Falling Waters.
Oh.
And
Okay.
she goes, I brought you some paper to make the envelopes. I didn't want you to have to pay the price for it.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yes. But yes, I do think there's a mortal that we could bring. But which one of us will be the guest?
Well, that would be 14.
Oh, no. Oh, good. Then we don't need to worry about it. Phew. Okay. Good. Awesome. My counting is very poor. All right. So I will give the invitation paper to Falling Waters. Say, could you make invitations that can't be refused?
Yes, this will be a challenge to match the handwriting, but it's a theme, right? Yes, everything is a theme.
Right. And she sort of stops and goes, you can see the handwriting on these still? Because he'd scrubbed them, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
I expect because falling waters can probably sense liquid that you can probably just see the last little bits of ink in there.
There are traces and pieces. It's what makes it useful.
Palimpsests.
A good deal of Crayola wax as well. So I will leave that in your hands. I think that Crescent has an address and name to give you. And we'd probably better rent some cleaning equipment.
There are hobs taking care of that.
Yes, and then we'd better hire some cleaning equipment.
So, falling waters, you want to craft these invitations so they are unmistakable and go to the right persons.
Yeah.
I think that's probably going to be invoke contract.
Well, I have hedge spinners.
Oh,
And you
that's
spin new
right.
items from the hedge, and you have to get materials from, say, a goblin market.
I
Okay.
did that.
Then let's have you go ahead and roll that.
So I think this involves like breaking these down and making something new out of it.
Mhm.
So I think there's a large like stone bowl where he again will he'll crack off one of his fingers with like a sound of breaking glass, and the liquid, the mercury, will start to pour in there as he like shreds up these papers and mixes it, makes a pulp out of it, lays them out, dries them into this like shiny silvery hand pulped paper sort of material that he'll then fold down into the envelopes for these things. I think this is something he'll leave the rest of the group. This has been a lot, and sort of go back to his place and
What
take
is
his time
his
with it.
place? What is his place? We established that you have the sort of the motley place that's the bar, but what is Falling Waters place? Is it a room off of that, or is it a separate place?
I think it's a separate place. I think it's something like the abandoned like storage floor, like the basement of an apartment building or something that's sort of underpopulated, and the basement is very like closed off and
Yeah.
not gone to.
The landlord's working to try and force out the rest of the tenants. They're having that sort of ongoing battle there. And
he's hiding the like toxic leak that's in the basement. That's why no
Yeah.
one goes down there, and he's trying to keep anyone from finding out about all the violations.
absolutely. So you're in your delicious little warren down in there. Let's have you roll with what are you rolling to do this this contract invocation?
I think it's gonna be calm. He's found somewhere comfortable and he's taking his time with it.
Okay. Then let's have you roll hedge spinner.
Right, y'all roll. That is a 5 + 2 is 7.
Oh, so you create a token with a single tag. What do you want to call that? What do you think is the thing this magical invitation does? Like homing or something like that?
Or irresistible.
I was thinking like unavoidable.
Okay. Unavoidable.
It's the bad penny thing of even if you toss it out, it'll show up again.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like if they try to throw the invitation, it'll just keep showing up.
Perfect. On a 7 to 9, you get to choose one of the results under Hedge Spinner. You can create it with 2 tags. It doesn't have a negative tag. It does not harm you.
I'll go with 2 tags.
Okay.
And I think just to make sure that everything goes smoothly, a second tag will be like personalized. Like no one else can read them. They are for who they're for, and they'll only reveal themselves to who they're for.
Absolutely.
And then it'll have a negative tag and harm, which is just fun.
Sure. I think one of the 13 has a tag called Dooming, but you're not sure which one.
I had it carefully kept aside, like it was very intentional, and then I just bumped the table and they all sort of tumbled to the ground, and I picked it back, and I just can't tell it apart anymore.
And you know that one of them is not going to be good for the recipient.
That probably won't be a problem. I mean, most of the recipients are changelings. Changelings have ways of dealing with weird stuff. It's definitely not even worth bringing up.
Absolutely. I do think you're going to have to mark sorrow for
Interesting.
handling these things.
Nice.
I
I like that.
That will be overwhelming. You will get flashes and visions from each one of these imagined birthday parties and kids alone in their homes, and imagining what the party would have been like.
Oh, yeah, I like that. That's neat.
Robert, Ferris, so they're like, oh yeah, we'll get a cleaning crew.
Yeah, I mean, I could help. I could clean. I mean, I could just eat everything. I don't know that I could eat the emotion left over, but I could do that. If we would like me to clean.
That carpet? No.
Oh no, the carpet's good. I'm not worried about the carpet.
We would perhaps need some things, though. You can't eat everything. There's some things in the room that maybe you could just. Can you lick things clean?
Well, I could lick them. I don't know how clean they will be, but I could certainly eat a lot of the things, and I could lick them mostly clean. I mean, it would save us the trouble of having to hire somebody.
Yes. All right. Good. Just you let us know exactly when that will be, so that I can be somewhere else.
So Ferris, you arrive at this Peach's show bar. Oh, that giant peach over the thing looks kind of delicious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're hoping when all this is said and done, maybe you could get up there and have that. And you'll come in, and you know you can hear the sounds of the hobs in working in the electrical box and things like that. And you're going to clean this place. Let's have you roll cleaner. This is your skill. You are able to clean places.
Yep. And okay, so
It is
I
half
guess,
physical, half mythic, half magic.
yeah. So I'll roll. Do I add one of my stats then?
Yeah. What stat do you want to
Okay.
roll this with?
I'll say power.
Yeah, that seems because you are really leaning into the thing that you were trained to do.
Yeah.
Shaped to do.
That's a 9.
That is a 9. So tell me, I mean, and this is about the mythic nature of your changelingness. And you're going to clean this place spotless. But what does that look like? The carpets are going to be clean. The floors are going to be wiped down. The dust is going to be gone. What does that look like?
I think for the bigger things, obviously, I could just eat them, right? But then I think like things like cleaning the carpet, like it's almost like I just like sweep my hands over them, and it's almost like having like a lint roller or something, you know, like my hands are just picking up every last little speck, and you know, I just kind of almost like a cat would, right?
Like that is, it ends up being like a big thing of cotton candy kind of gunk on your
Yeah.
hands. You know, you rub the undersides of the tables and you get all the old gum and stuff, and then you kind of
Yeah, I collect it all and then just eat it.
gulp. You hear one of the hobs go, ugh. Like maybe the hob threw up in its mouth just a little there. What is the one thing you don't get clean?
I think some of the mirrors, I think some of them still have
Spilt pop, drinks, thrown drinks.
I was gonna say like maybe like smudges of, you know, where people may have been pressed up against them.
Okay. So there's some weird ghost smudges on
Yeah.
the mirrors in different places. I like that. Um, Crescent, what are you doing? They're Falling Waters getting invitations together. Ferris cleans the place. What are you doing to set the scene?
Yeah, I'm taking the tarot cards to decorate the place with. And I'm being very exacting about it. I tell myself, okay, so 3 steps, 3 sad steps, and then 3 half sad steps. Like as I set up the different cards in different places, to shift them around, and I pull out like way more. Like there's like I pull out like hundreds.
Absolutely. I think you're kind of creating a magical effect in here to really set the decorations. So I'm going to have you roll invoke contract.
Ooh, okay. So let me see. When you use your nature to create a modest or cosmetic magical effect, name it, and it happens. I'll say that the effect I want is that the tarot cards will shift people's moods, because I know that Victory herself wants it to be kind of difficult for them to figure things out, but not too difficult. So I want the cards to like respond to that.
Make it a little more confusing. They have a hard time settling on. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty significant one. So you mark clarity, which means you mark 2 boxes of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And what mood do you want to roll with?
I feel like Crescent is actually afraid, because Crescent's very good at using their powers to instill fear and things like that, but to create something this subtle, I think Crescent's a little afraid it's going to go wrong a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm going to roll 6, 7, 8, 9.
So that is a 9.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, so on a 9, ooh, what is the catch?
I think the catch is that you have to recite out loud quietly, but as you're doing this, the names of all the people that you led to their hotel rooms.
Ooh.
And what does that feel like when you do that? This is the price you pay to the magic to have it let you do this thing. What does it feel like?
It feels like I'm telling myself that it's to honor them, but every time I do it, I hope that when I say the name, I won't remember what's associated with that name, but that never happens. I always remember.
Each one.
Yeah, each one.
The click of the lock, the sound of the key card, all of that of the door opening, the creak of that, the sound of their reaction.
Yeah, and I think the worst part is most of the time when I came, they would be afraid or they'd be worried, but what would hurt me the most was when they would be grateful that I would show up. So that's what stays with me the most.
Ouch. Victory, the room is decorated, it's cleaned, and you kind of don't want to know how he did it. And the invitations are out and sent. You're muted.
Yeah, I buy him a Groupon for an all-you-can-eat buffet that's opening up. Figure they might as well understand that there's rules they're going to have to put on things. So.
Yeah. You know, ogres love all-you-can-eat buffets. They usually eventually get kicked out of them. But this is one that doesn't know yet.
Exactly. It's a fine opportunity.
So what are you doing, Victory?
I think that she is very carefully going and creating like a little gift that is for each place setting, if that makes any sense. So, and she sort of goes through all of her resources and she literally does spend like everything that she saved up to this type of resources, like things that she had planned to spend at the goblin thing and stuff like that. So
Okay.
for things that would suit their court and for the mortals, she buys the sort of thing that you would have like she won't remember most of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she'll think that she went to some sort of strange promo thing for like a product rollout or a fashion thing. So she will get her like a really really nice makeup set, but all of the containers are unlabeled. Like
Okay.
it looks really elemental, but all of it is very nice makeup because that seems to fit for the kind of weirdness of all of this. And for the hob, I think for the hob, that she will actually go and get like souvenirs for Hollywood. Like go to a souvenir shop. So they're new. They haven't been like invested with anything. They're just like souvenirs that you would get for family. So that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, she gives away like all of the receipts for the refundable bus tickets that she bought for girls who she saw, crying on the sidewalk who just wanted to go home. She gave them tickets. But only for the ones that they like just went and refunded the ticket and kept the money and stayed. And those kinds of things. So all of those sorts of things that she collected over time that had that sort of poor choices or strange circumstance.
So do you think there are a couple of ways we can read this? One is you invoking a contract, essentially trying to create a magical effect.
Exactly.
Or if you're just trying to use these to kind of get a reaction and kind of impose your will socially on the group, we can have you roll conflict.
I think I might actually go with the contract,
Okay.
in the sense that inherently she wants to be needed. So she wants something about that party to be a thing that people carry away, and it makes the party, she's part of the ritual.
Okay.
If that
So
makes
you're
any sense.
definitely trying to impress or change the environment. I think either one of those would work. So what would you roll that with?
Sorrow, because it is for winter.
Okay.
And hope and pray I don't mess this up. So I got a 9, add 2, that's 11.
Look at you. You get to name the catch, and you can mark a condition, essentially mark one of your stats. I didn't catch the rewriting of that, but mark a mood to get a second effect.
Okay.
It's an condition. Jeez.
Yeah. So which is this in situational moves or basic moves?
This is under basic moves. Actually,
Oh
the
my
very
gosh.
first basic move.
Okay, low contract. So when I hit choose one below. So gonna impress them.
Yeah. So normally when I say cosmetic, that's like if you want to disguise like a key to look like a candy bar or things like that. Those are all modest things that you changelings can do just at the drop of a hat. But when doing bigger things.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm going to choose, of course, to impress my opposition or my party guest, more to
Okay.
speak. And I think that, yeah, I want to change the environment so that it has a significance, and a significance of something bad or something not good, but that's coming to an end. Does that make any sense?
Interesting.
Like that the passing will be to something better is more of that impression, like that this is going to get rehabbed or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. I like
so it
that.
is that sort of the kind of this thing that goes along with that. And then I have to name a catch. Or
What
you
is
name
it
a
that
catch.
you have to do to get this magic to go off?
It's a good question. I don't think when she went to do it that she knew what it was. But as soon as she started the process, she realized that she had to go back to her old house, which she's been avoiding, to see who's there. Like, essentially, she has to go see her fetch.
And so we're going to cut. We're going to do one more sort of once around of things that you're doing to set up for the party.
Mm-hmm.
To get things sort of the last steps. We're going to end with you seeing your fetch. But falling waters. The hobs have gotten the electrical set up. Tables have been brought. Libations have been gotten. Arrangements have been made for like an Uber to bring the food over at the proper time. You can feel when each invitation is opened. You will feel those go out. You can feel the tug as each person maybe thinks it's not going, but then they feel that they can't. And you'll feel a few times where people throw them away and then they find them again. And there's certainly a mixture of anticipation and fear that comes from that. But what else are you doing to make ready?
I go see Ferris just to see how his end went and if he can think of any other things we need to find for the party.
Ferris, where does Falling Waters find you?
Yeah, I think I finished up at the strip club, and I'm maybe back at our hangout spot, the bar that we were kind of at, if that makes sense. And I'm probably there drinking, but I think when Ferris drinks, it's just like from a handle of like the cheapest vodka.
Okay, and I think I know what this is. So Waters will come in and he'll like reach behind the bar and grab a bottle of vermouth to sit down next to you. Take a long, luxurious swig of it. And he'll say, "So, should we practice the entertainment portion of the evening?"
Well, I mean, I think it would be, we could, but we could also just wing it. You know, it would seem more authentic.
It's not a problem if we need to practice it. I'll be fine.
Well, I mean, what? I'm not going to mess it up. So why do we really need to practice?
I suppose I just thought you would want everything to go perfectly for this.
Oh, I think everything will go perfectly. I mean, we've done so much preparation. I mean, we can do a little bit of practicing if it would make you feel better.
Just saying, I would think that dismembering people in an entertaining and for show sort of way might be more particular.
Well, I mean, okay, so I was thinking, you know, we could start with the whole like handshake thing where I reach out to like shake your hand and then like, oops, there goes an arm. That's always a good opener.
Yes, good. A nice shock gag.
Yeah, it's very authentic.
Yes, I can wear perhaps an outfit if I'm serving an outfit and gloves, so people would not see it coming. Perhaps.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, something showy. I mean, you're always showy, but you know, something that accentuates it.
So, have you done something like this before?
Well, certainly never with practice. And I'm not sure if it was meant to be entertaining, but some did like it.
Can I have you roll inner turmoil,
Yeah.
Ferris, as you start reaching back a little bit into your past life here?
Yeah. So I'm going to roll that. I'm going to roll that with sorrow.
Okay.
That's a 9.
So you either need to extricate yourself, mark clarity, or mark your mood that you rolled with.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mark the mood.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll mark sorrow.
And you'll definitely see Falling Waters. There is that rumble where you can tell you're hitting on some of the sort of inner life of the changeling that they don't talk about.
I'm sorry, that was inappropriate. You don't have to talk about past dismemberments. That I can see where that might be uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, it's okay. You know, it's only fair. If you're going to be dismembered, you should know my credentials and all of that. You know, I have dismembered people before. It's not really something I enjoy doing. I mean, I trust that you'll be fine.
You know that, yes? Like reach out and put his hand on your arm. This, you cannot hurt me. This is, it's just a shell I wear for other people.
I believe you. I've hurt people without trying before, so you know, I hope it goes okay.
Do not worry. I am no longer people.
I'm going to cut on that line. Crescent, doing some other things around. What kind of cell phone does Crescent have?
Ooh. I think it's a really it's a really fancy new phone, except it's cracked really badly.
Spider web of cracks on it. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, as it shifts in the light, the crack seems to shift where it's supposed to be. And the crack is always exactly where Crescent needs to look at. Like, it's always slightly blocking the screen.
Do this thing, it kind of like, and your phone will buzz, and you'll look, and you can see that Niami is calling.
Ooh. Yeah, so I think I'll step away, and it's one of those things where as I step away, I go behind something like in the camera, and when I step through, I have my human form on, and I answer the phone. Oh, Niani, it's so good to hear from you. How are you, friend?
I'm okay. I'm okay. It's been a weird couple of days. I just wanted
Weird.
to talk to you.
How is it weird?
Well, you know my friend Ash? And keep in mind that Niami knows you're a changeling, understands that, but doesn't know that Ash is a changeling.
Ooh.
We went to the market, and like, I don't know if it was an ex-boyfriend or something, but she kind of got into it with this guy, and then I asked her about it, and she wouldn't talk about it. And so that was really, really weird.
Oh, that must have been so scary.
He's a big guy too.
A big guy? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh no. Like, how big?
Like really, really tall.
And like, are we talking thick? Like with 3 C's or 5 C's thick?
I think 5.
Oh, I see. And I'm like filing away that.
But here's the other thing. You know, you told me to tell you if anything weird happened to me.
Yes, did something weird happen to you, darling?
Yeah. So I got this invitation in the mail, and it was very vague, and it was a little weird, and it had an address to go to. And when I looked it up on Google Maps, it's to this abandoned strip club, and it says it's for some sort of party there, but like, it doesn't say who it's from. It doesn't say anything about what's going on. I threw it away because I thought it was like maybe some kind of like, you know, hidden camera show stunt or something like that.
Right, those are awful. I can't believe they're still doing that nowadays.
Absolutely.
It's so
And
passe.
I don't want to get punked or anything.
Right.
And I don't want to be on any kind of reality shows. You know, if you know, if I'm going to act, I want to be, you know, legitimate actors.
Of course, darling.
But I threw away the invitation. I like tore it up. And then when I went back into the kitchen, it was there again.
Oh, that is you know, I think I'm gonna call it on myself. I think I have to roll inner
I think
turmoil.
absolutely.
So, because like I invited her, but now she's scared, and now I'm guilty. I'm gonna reroll my dice. I'm feeling
What do you want to
what's
roll?
close to
Yeah.
guilt. What's
Yeah.
close to
Sorrow is close to guilt, but you've kind of got that locked.
yeah.
Then I think either fear or
Yeah.
power also represents the fact that you're abusing your power.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with power. Yeah, because like yeah, like I feel like I'm taking advantage. Like it seemed like I know that I was really doing it to make things difficult for Ash, on purpose, and
Yeah.
now I'm seeing this firsthand how it's affecting Niani. So I'm gonna re-roll 4, 5, 6. Do I have a? I think it's a flat roll.
Yeah.
It's a flat roll. Yeah, so it's a 6. Let me just read it out. So on a 6, nope, nothing. Yeah.
Okay. So you have to mark power.
Okay.
It's another condition marked.
Mhm.
And you can tell that she's like holding up the invitation while she's talking to you. And you can hear it is whispering, and you can hear the whispers of it. And it's going, "This is the end for you. This is the end."
Like the invitation itself is whispering it.
Yeah. Like it is peeling a prophecy of doom for her.
Oh no. And I'm going to say I think I'm gonna just like swear to myself. Fucking falling waters. What the fucking fuck? Like just like but like under my breath, it's just coming
Are
out.
you
as
okay?
yeah. Something in my throat. Yeah. I think I think like I really can't like get my words across to her. Like I think my miss is like I just
She's,
I'm gonna
they're calling me in for the audition. I'll, I might go. I might have to have you. I don't know. I'll talk to you later. All right.
yeah, and then I make the stupid promise that I shouldn't make to her. I say no matter what, you'll be fine. I'll take care of you.
Oh, that makes me feel better. Thank you.
Right. And then when she puts on the phone, why did I say
Yeah,
that?
it rests. You feel the full weight, like a little bit of that doom gets pulled onto your shoulders. It's evening. The sprinklers are going on the lawn. Victory. The lights are on the pool. You got that nice big estate. You know, kind of walking through it quietly. You know all the ways in. There's the place over there where the child lured you in.
Mhm. I
What
look
are you
back in.
doing?
I'm going to see her.
Okay. And you will make your way up and kind of onto the grounds, and you're looking around, and there's one of those big sliding glass doors, and you look and you will see this figure. What is she made out of? What did your keeper make your fetch out of?
Made her out of all the things that I had invested myself in and loved and that had no value to my husband. So it was my collection of the classics, but the ones that had women who had power and wielded it. It had it was it had all of the charitable causes that I had put so much time and into and understanding what was going on and how I could help with the dynamic and trying to plan, ways to get to do more, just everything that I cared about. It's like all of those all of those things, and it's like, and then she's like covered with money.
Let's have you roll inner turmoil. What do you want to roll that with?
I think sorrow. It's just like, this is what it all is. And she even knows. I mean, it's like, even as she's driving over there, it's just mounting the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled an 8. I rolled a 9, excuse me. And I add 2, so it's an 11.
You keep yourself together and you will complete that contract. But I think you will see her putting down this tray. And there's like tea and other things on the tray. And you will see she sits down, and she sits down with, like, there are a group of kids on the couches.
Like little kids?
Yeah, young enough. 6, 7, 8.
Oh, look at them.
You'd expect kids, you kind of know what their behavior ought to be, but they're weirdly quiet. They just pick up the cookies and they just drink the tea. And like maybe one or two of them, you're like, I think I've seen that kid on a commercial.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to cut. Let's go to XP, and then if you don't mind, we'll do stars and wishes. And next session, we'll start right away we'll be right into the party.
Awesome.
So here is the question for each of you. Did you show us something about your seeming or your kith? Meaning, what kind of fairest you are, or being a fairest. What do you think, Victory?
As a figurehead, let's see here. I did take up the place to do the brave speaking to Semolina Pilchard, but it still was Ferris that she went to make the decision. So yeah, that seemed particularly appropriate.
Did you express something about your season, about winter?
Sorrow.
I think we had that
yeah.
encounter with the birthday cards,
Yeah.
party cards. So
Yep, I think so.
And did we see something or express something about your humanity, your human side?
I would like to think so.
I think we certainly saw your fetch, which is your past. So that's 3 XP.
Thanks.
Robert.
Ouch, painful.
Yes, Robert, did you show us something about the nature of being an ogre, or about your kind of ogre that you are?
I mean, I think so. I kind of ate everything.
Yes, you did. Absolutely.
And clean stuff too.
Yes. So get an XP for that. Did you show us something about summer?
I don't think I got necessarily angry or anything. No.
Okay. Did you show us something about your humanity, or lack thereof?
I mean, I think maybe insofar as my reluctance to practice dismemberment.
Absolutely. So you'll get 2 XP. Yes, you don't have to talk about past dismemberments, is the quote that I wrote down from that particular scene. It's maybe not quite as good as Oil of Baby, but it's pretty close. Falling Waters. Did you show us something about your seeming or kith?
I think so, with the disconnect and the like distance that he has.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. And did we see something about Autumn?
Well, yeah, okay. Not the emotion, but I did, like, I was working on that project and I was like talking up the connections and the sort of like attitudes of the Autumn Court.
I'll give you a point for that. And did we see something about your human side or human nature, human past?
I think it was sort of tangential. I want to try and like lean into that stronger next time. I have an idea for him being different when he's broken out of that shell. So
Okay.
maybe you want to play with some of that next time.
All right. Do you think you want to hold off on the XP from that then?
Yeah.
Okay. And let's come to Crescent. Crescent, did we see something about your seeming or your kith?
Yeah, I think so. I messed up a lot, but I did use those abilities. I think, yeah.
And did we see something about Winter, about that hiding and fear?
Yeah, there was a lot of sorrow. I was swimming in it.
Yeah.
I think.
So that's another point. And we definitely got to see the problems of your humanity there
Yeah.
at the end. So that'll be 3 points.
Yeah, so I also leveled up earlier because of all the misses.
Oh yeah.
So like, yeah.
So it'll roll over, and yeah, you can. The advances are there under the clarity. There's the
Yeah.
list of the possible advances.
Awesome.
I would like to take a few minutes here to do a quick wishes and stars, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Sherry, we're going to go in that same order I just did. Let's start with wishes, in particular, mechanical questions or things we didn't get to, or things you definitely want to see next time, or any kind of wish that you want to point towards that we can do. So let's start with you on that.
So we're just starting with wishes, or we're doing stars and
Let's
wishes?
do wishes first, and then we'll go around and do stars. I like breaking those apart.
Okay, sure. Let's see here. Wishes. I think I have to remember to use all of my awesome moves. There's a thing is I have follow the threads and center of attention and things like that I could have used to good effect, and I just forget because I'm like, I'm just going to talk. So yes.
I think it will be nice for the party, though. I think we can certainly get those on stage there.
Okay.
Anything else?
My personal failings are the only thing that have engendered any needs that I have from this game.
All right. Robert, what about you?
For wishes, I mean, I don't really have anything specific other. I mean, I guess I would like to see more of the warden move I have of like the job I have and like the whole illicit drug trade and stuff.
Okay.
So I'd like to see that more come out.
We'll see if we can get that in a conflict with your present situation then. Oh, I see a cattail too.
Yeah, it's so big.
Yeah. Anything else you want to point to wishes wise?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Patrick?
So like I said, I wanna try and find a place next time to explore like a different side, a different aspect of Falling Waters, and maybe like get into more of his human nature rather than his weird changeling nature, which has been a lot of it thus far.
Okay.
Externally, I've really enjoyed the like emotional relationships I've built up with Crescent, and then I was trying to work into some of that with Ferris this time. And I definitely want to expand on those, but like action-wise, I want to find an emotional hook into to victory, like between the two of us.
Okay. I think that makes sense. And Jamie, anything for wishes for you?
Yeah. Wishes was I'd also like to have a chance to get closer to Ferris. I think there's going to be a perfect opportunity because of that phone call. I think I might enlist Ferris's help to stave off that doom, I think. Yeah, I think that's the only wish that
Okay.
I have, really. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I have not put my Sunday schedule for April on the board. And I'm thinking, even though we don't have it in March, that I might do a second month of this in April. If I do that, I will send all of you the links so you can have first pass at that if you want to do that. That'll be up to you. If you don't want to, that is fine as well. If you have other conflicts, that is also cool. But I will go ahead and do that, just to keep that in mind. And it'd be no judgment if anybody doesn't want to. Just want to make that absolutely clear on that. But let's go to stars. Sherry.
Oh my God, Jamila, everything she says is so nonchalantly on the mark. So yeah, ripping my heart out and making me giggle at the same time. I don't know what to say. That was terrific. Everyone's amazing, but my jaw was dropping. So thank you for that.
Aw, thank you.
Anything else you want to say? Were you good with that?
No, this game is so good, and everyone in it is so good, including you. You know, Lowell, you're good too. Yeah. No, it's. Thank you. I really love Changeling the Lost, and you guys are bringing it. So there you go. That is really it.
Okay, Robert. Any stars you want to point to?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked all the scenes we had where we were going and into the nightclub or whatever to figure out how to acquire the drink. I'm still kind of getting used to like this whole setting, so Sherry kind of taking charge on that and being the figurehead, but still also working me on that all went very well. That helped a lot.
Good. I'm glad you dug that. I know it can be a challenge because there's a lot of stuff here, and I'm going to have to add NPCs for all of these names. The pictures on the things. We'll have to figure that out. Some of them are already in there, but yeah. Patrick, any stars you want to throw?
Definitely for the Goblin Market. It was delightfully odd and uncomfortable. I love the weirdnesses that you can find in the Goblin Market, and of course it gives you a good chance to do weird and funny character voices, which is always fun. Otherwise, I'll give stars for the sort of like emotional scenes that I sort of referred to earlier, but just Jamie with Crescent, just it's a really neat connection between her and Waters in this sort of like we're both very unsure of our understanding of other people and their emotions. And so seeing the way that was the same, but seeing the ways that Crescent is definitely very differently traumatized than Falling was really cool. And then Robert, just that like discomfort and unwillingness to go there with Ferris at the end was really nice, and it was sort of like it was perfectly resonant with what I was trying to get with that scene. So it was really good.
Excellent. Jamie, I'm going to give you last word.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm gonna try to not overtalk. First, a star to the system. I'm really enjoying it. I've always wanted to play more World of Darkness, but the system was always difficult for me. So this is super fun. I really love it. I'm having so much fun with it. And I'm also, let's see, there's so many stars because like I really enjoyed that connection with Falling Waters. It made it really easy. I'm really surprised with how quickly this character is coming together. Usually when I role play as a player, I have a hard time, but I don't know, all that sadness. It's just so easy to latch. But I think it's like there was so much to build upon, right? Like there's just so much going on in the setting and in the offerings. I also really, really enjoyed seeing what you came up with, Lowell, for the Goblin Market, for the normal market and everything. It was really fun. I had so much fun interacting with the world. But I think my favorite is the baby oil idea. Like that one really made me laugh. So But yeah, I just had such a good time, and I really loved this game.
Good. I am glad that everybody's enjoying it. It is a pleasure to run. You're such a good group, 4 very strong players in a setting that is wild and magical. So I'm digging it.
One
Thank
thing
you.
though,
Yes.
a bunch of us have marked conditions, so we do need to run over how you can recover those and things like that.
Oh,
so
yeah. I'll talk about that right at the beginning of next session. I'll kind of go over how that condition clearing. Thank you. And about marked moods, we used to call them conditions, and now we're calling them marking the moods. So
Interesting. Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Because it used to be much more stolen from masks, but we have moved away from that. I'm going to stop the stream.